Once upon a time in the serene locality of Shantinagar, there existed a family named Dash. They were a middle-class Bengali family, consisting of a father, Siddhartha, a mother, Renuka, and two sons, Sion and... The family was deeply respected by the neighborhood for their kindness and generosity. Their house was always filled with laughter, joy, and warmth. But over time, cracks began to form in their relationship. Misunderstandings grew into resentment, ego clashes intensified, and emotional neglect became the norm. What was once a tightly bonded family now found itself broken into pieces. In the midst of this fractured family lived a 22-year-old girl named Anvesha. She was the daughter of Manoroma, their late housemaid who had passed away when Anvesha was just a baby. Ever since, Anvesha had been raised under the same roof as the Dashkopta family. However, despite growing up in the same household, she was never truly accepted as one of them. The family treated her more like a servant than their own flesh and blood. Anvesha understood that she was different, yet she never questioned their actions. She quietly bore the pain of exclusion, hoping that someday things would change. But as the years went by, it seemed as though her hope was misplaced. Despite the indifference shown towards her, Anvesha continued to care for the family. She handled their medicines, prepared their meals, managed their schedules, and even remembered their birthdays. She took care of every household chore without a single complaint. It was as if she were the head of the household, ensuring everything ran smoothly. But her efforts were taken for granted. The family never acknowledged her sacrifices or showed any appreciation for all that she did. They were so absorbed in their own problems that they failed to notice the silent strength that Anvesha possessed. Anvesha became the backbone of the house, bearing the emotional weight of the whole family on her young shoulders. She became a master at reading their moods, anticipating their needs, and fulfilling them without a word of complaint. But behind her gentle and helpful demeanor, a deep sadness lingered. Anvesha's story is a powerful reminder for us all to be more aware of those around us. Sometimes those who seem invisible can be the ones who make the most significant impact on our lives. We must learn to appreciate and acknowledge the contributions of those who serve us, for they are the unsung heroes of our society. One fateful day, Renuka, the mother, burst into Anvesha's small room. Her face was pale and her voice trembled as she accused Anvesha of bringing misfortune to the family. You have brought nothing but bad luck to this family. Leave! Get out of here! She screamed, pushing Anvesha away. Anvesha was taken aback by her outburst, but before she could respond, Renuka stormed out of the room, leaving Anvesha in tears. Confused and hurt, Anvesha couldn't understand what she had done to deserve such treatment. As the days went by, the situation in the house grew increasingly tense. Sion, the younger son, who had always been jealous of Anvesha, found support in his mother's words. He started to believe that Anvesha was responsible for all their misfortunes, and joined his mother in tormenting her. You are just a servant's daughter. You don't belong here. Get out! He yelled, echoing his mother's sentiments. Overwhelmed by the constant emotional assault, Anvesha's spirit began to break. She felt like an outsider in her own home, unwanted and unloved. Determined to escape the pain, Anvesha decided to leave the house. But But before doing so, she wanted to express her feelings. So she sat down and wrote a heartfelt letter to the family she had known for so long. I am leaving because I want you all to live in peace. If my presence brings you pain, then I am not worthy of being a part of your lives. Goodbye, she wrote, tears staining the paper. After writing the note, Anvesha slipped it under the door of her family's room and left the house silently. No one heard her footsteps that night as she walked away from the only home she had ever known. The next morning, when the family woke up, they were shocked to find Anvesha's farewell letter. The words pierced their hearts, reminding them of all the times they had ignored and mistreated their selfless caretaker. They realized that in their selfishness, they had caused immense pain to the one who had given them nothing but love and devotion. Siddhartha, the father, was filled with remorse. He remembered how Anvesha had always been there for the family, taking care of their needs and offering them unconditional love. He recalled how she had comforted him during his moments of grief, stood by him through his successes, and never complained when he was too busy to acknowledge her presence. Siddhartha realized that he had failed as a father figure in Anvesha's life. Renuka, the mother, was consumed with guilt. She remembered all the times she had shouted at Anvesha, calling her names and making her feel like an outcast in her own home. She realized that she had been so caught up in her own problems that she had failed to see the immense strength and resilience Anvesha possessed. Most of all, she felt terrible for not being able to provide the love and care that Anvesha needed as a child. Sayun, the younger son, was filled with shame. He realized that his jealousy had blinded him to the truth. He remembered all the times he had mocked Anvesha, belittled her, and made her life miserable. He realized that he had been wrong all along, and that Anvesha deserved so much more than the hatred he had thrown her way. Erendem, the elder son, was heartbroken. He felt responsible for not standing up for Anvesha when it mattered the most. He remembered how close he and Anvesha had been when they were younger, how they shared their dreams and secrets with each other. But as he grew older, he allowed his brother and parents to influence his thoughts and actions. He realized that he had betrayed his own sister and allowed his family to treat her unjustly. Each member of the family was consumed with guilt, regret, and a deep sense of loss. They realized that in their quest for happiness, they had forgotten what truly mattered: family, love, and compassion. They understood that Anvesha wasn't just a maid's daughter. She was their sister, their friend, and a member of their family. In the days following Anvesha's departure, the Desgupta household underwent a profound transformation. The walls that had once echoed with laughter now rang with silence. The family no longer took their relationships for granted. They began to cherish the importance of love, compassion, and empathy. Renuka turned to prayer and meditation, seeking solace and guidance. She spent hours in quiet contemplation, reflecting on her past actions and praying for her envy. Her harsh exterior softened, replaced by a gentle warmth that welcomed everyone who entered their home. Siddhartha, the father, started spending more time in the community, engaging with people from all walks of life. He established a local library and hosted discussions on various social issues, often mentioning Anvesha and her contributions to their family. His actions were a subtle way of acknowledging the impact she had on his life and inspiring others to treat those in service with respect and dignity. Sayan, the younger son, became a social worker, dedicating his life to serving the underprivileged in the slums. He worked tirelessly to provide education, health care, and basic necessities to those who were less fortunate. driven by the realization that everyone deserved kindness and compassion, regardless of their background. Erendum, the elder son, began visiting his family more often, taking responsibility for organizing gatherings and strengthening their bond. He made sure that everyone was included and that no one felt left out, determined to prevent any further division or hurt within his family. As the family slowly began to heal, they all wondered about Anvesha's whereabouts. They hoped that she was happy and living a fulfilling life, but they knew they had caused her so much pain that she might never want to return to them. One day, Erendum decided to visit a local monastery nestled in the serene Himalayas. He had a hunch that Anvesha might be there, finding solace and peace amidst the mountain and spiritual teaching. As he approached the monastery, a sense of calm washed over him. He could feel the positive energy emanating from the peaceful When Herendam finally located Anvesha, she was tending to the garden, her hands gently touching the leaves, as if she were communicating with them. Her eyes were closed, and a serene smile played on her lips. She seemed at peace with herself and her touched by a tranquil presence. Erendum couldn't help but approach her and call out her name. Anvesha opened her eyes, and upon recognizing her brother, they filled with tears. She had missed him, missed the family she had left behind. But the pain of betrayal and abandonment was still fresh in her heart. Erendum fell to his knees before Anvesha, tears streaming down his face. I am so sorry, Anvesha. I am sorry for not recognizing you as my sister, for not standing up for you when it mattered the most. Please forgive me, he pleaded, his voice filled with remorse. Anvesha looked at her brother, her eyes glistening with tears. She wanted to speak, to express the turmoil that had been etched onto her soul, but no words came out. Her silence was deafening, echoing the pain and longing that had consumed her for years. In that moment, surrounded by the tranquility of the Himalayas, Anvesha realized that she couldn't hold on to the pain anymore. She forgave her brother, not for her sake, but for his. She knew that in forgiving him, she was also setting herself free from the shackles of the past. And so, under the watchful gaze of the majestic mountains, a broken family began to heal. They learned that forgiveness and understanding could mend the deepest wounds in that love. And compassion were the guiding lights that could lead them out of the darkness